There's a dynamic that's worthy of note, and it's again a subconscious dynamic. It's a dynamic of projection that generates criticism or critical projection. So if someone sees a woman that's not married that has multiple children, is there a subconscious tribal historical consensus consciousness projection that says, oh, she must not have been done her job, or she must not have been what she should have been, otherwise she would be married and there would be a father for these children. There's a dynamic of blame, prejudice, bias, blame, judgment, criticism, devaluation, and that equates to a lack of support. Are we making sense that this dynamic erodes and takes away the potential for collective and individual support of women who are in challenged circumstances, especially? One of the delusional dynamics of human life process is that through this critical projection, we tend to assume we have some understanding of another person's lot in life, and that we are fit in some way to judge their situation. Of course, we're not. Nobody's good enough or right enough or valid enough to judge anyone else. And we agree with the judge not lest ye be judged paradigm, paraphrasing from the Bible. That said, we want to communicate that there's an underlying fear that drives all judgmentalness, blame, criticism, bias, prejudice, and even dynamics of projection. That if we don't dig down to those fears and resolve them at their foundation, then the symptomology of bias, prejudice, judgmentalness, dismissiveness, devaluation, bullying, and basically social punishment just continues like a skipping record, day by day, year by year, circumstance by circumstance, and family by family, and even nation by nation. If we don't dig up this fear, and if we don't resolve it, if we don't face it, if we don't accept that we've been operating from it, then we will remain, in essence, not victim to it. We would remain overtly, unconsciously, systemically influenced by it and not recognize that that's occurring, when it's occurring, or when, where, how, and why it's occurring. And the fear itself would try to remain submerged, unseen, unspoken, denied, and unresolved, and thus ever in the social space as a defining decisional characteristic that just gets rationalized. People rationalize being judgmental. They rationalize their punitive questioning, critical questioning of other people, and try to project themselves onto the dynamics of another. And they say, well, I wouldn't have 5 kids, therefore this person shouldn't have 5 kids, or I didn't have 5 kids, therefore if somebody else does have 5 kids, there must be something either wrong with them, or they're not smart, or they're not doing the right thing, or they're not disciplined enough, or something. That the ignorant projections onto other people based upon this fear in their systems is so vitally necessary to call out right now in the world, because as long as it operates, it will hold sway and priority over whether we do or do not accept each other as equals, whether we do or do not honor each other, or unite, or mobilize, or effectively solve the climate crisis. Is it amazing that the solution to the climate crisis might be beyond our grasp as long as we remain afraid of something? Oddly enough, at subconscious levels are being projectively afraid of being in the shoes of the other person that is so challenged in their life. And that fear of even experiencing that empathetically, experiencing the pain of another, empathetically, the fear of experiencing the pain triggers us into a judgmental, critical mode and an excuse-making mode and saying, well, they probably did something wrong, or they're probably not a good person, or they're probably not smart, or they should have done something different. And I don't have any accountability nor responsibility to help them because I'm afraid I might someday be them. And I want to escape from that possibility by criticizing them, having a bias, a prejudice, or a judgment towards them. And I don't want to admit my fear. And I don't want to admit my fear is generating a prejudicial or biased or judgmental dynamic and a punishing dynamic as a result.